Have you been wondering how to get the Van Halen sound with your Fender Champion 20? Well, this is part 2, following up a video I did last week. And I'll tell you why. I had somebody watching my video, shout out to Orion 5150, and they said, hey, they did not use chorus. Eddie Van Halen did not use chorus on that solo, particularly talking about Eruption. That's from the 1978 album. And so I was like, okay, let me research this. Let me dig in. And I found out, sure enough, Eddie Van Halen used the MXR Phase 90. Now, here's the catch. I'm going to show you how to dial in a similar sound, but there's one problem. Let me get into that in just a minute. Hey, I'm Derek at 5 Minute Music, and I have over 25 years experience playing the electric guitar, teaching students how to use their amps, doing some live sound, doing some mixing, and I'm excited to dial in this sound for you. So let's get started. So, talking about the problem, Eddie Van Halen used an MXR Phase 90 pedal, but this amp does not have a phase effect. So what do? Well, I found a workaround. Below, in the description section, I'm going to put a link to the difference between phase and flange. And I'm also going to put a link to an article where Eddie Van Halen actually was discussing how he got that signature sound on, for instance, Eruption. So here's what we can do. He used a phase pedal and he slowed down the sweep a lot. Well, when you do that, flange can kind of imitate that. So I'm going to build out this whole sound for you today, and we're going to put some flange on top of it. So here we go. We're going to start with the voice knob. Set your voice knob on metal yellow. Now you might be saying, wait a minute, isn't that like a high gain amp, and wouldn't Eddie Van Halen have used like a Marshall? Well, this setting right here, when you dial down the gain, actually gets pretty close to the sound. So again, set it on metal yellow and go take your gain and put it on 5. Now for your volume, I'm using the volume on 3. You put it on whatever you need to do. For instance, you might have a next door neighbor, or you might have somebody sleeping in the next room and you can't rock it out, or maybe you can turn it up even louder than I do. You'll have to decide that, and if you need to go really quiet, just plug in your headphones. But for the purpose of this recording, I have my gain on 5, my volume on 3, metal yellow. Now EQ, I set my treble on 5 and my bass on 7. Now depending on what kind of guitar you're using, you might have to EQ it a little bit different. You might actually have to adjust the gain a little bit. I'm using a humbucker near the bridge, my tone on 10, and my volume on 10. This is an Ibanez RG550. It's like around a 1990 edition. So you're going to have to adjust a little bit to sync up with your guitar. So you might have to adjust your gain up or down depending on what kind of pickup you have. And if your guitar is more of a bright sound or a dark sound, slightly adjust your EQ. Now let's dial in the effects. First thing I want you to do is set your effects select knob, put the arrow up pointing to flange, and you'll know you'll have it because the indicator light goes yellow. And now I want you to work with the tap button. The tap button is going to set the rate of sweep for the flange. Now, Eddie Van Halen used a slow sweep for his phase, so we're going to use a slow sweep for our flange, like this. Tap, 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 and that's going to set it. Tap, tap, tap. Now we're going to go to the effects level. This has been the hardest thing for me to dial in, and I'll tell you why. If it's too low, I can't hear the effect. If it's too high, it sounds too much more like a flange and not like a phase. It starts to warble the notes in a way that doesn't sound right to me. And a quick note, I'm not going to try to exactly play Eruption because I don't own the rights to that, and that would be a copyright infringement, and I don't want to be demonetized, but I'm going to play something similar. So here we go. So let's start with the effects level on 3. Here we go. Maybe you need a little bit more. Let's turn it up to 4. Okay, well maybe you want even more of that sweep feel. Well, let's go up to 5. So what do you think? For me, I'm starting to hear too much of the note change, but I can definitely hear the sweep more. So it's tricky. I'll give you one more. Listen to it at 6. By the way, if you're liking this, go ahead and click like. And add a comment as well. What do you think? Do you like 3? Do you like 4? Do you like 5? Do you like 6 or 6? After hearing that, if you liked it and you want to dive even deeper into your Fender Champion 20 and learn how to use every knob, how do I adjust them? What order do I adjust them in? How do I get a classic rock sound, maybe like a Zeppelin sound? How do I get a Stevie Ray Vaughan lead kind of a sound? How do I get a clean country sound or just a gorgeous clean sound or a heavy metal sound? I've created the Fender Champion 20 tone course that will help you do that. So if you'll just click right there, you can check out that video about the Fender Champion 20 tone course. If you'll click right there, you can subscribe and please hit the bell. And if you would, like this video and drop me a comment if you have any more questions. Thank you so much. God bless. Have a great day.